We're going to go up to $750,000 by the end of the trial, and the appeals are going to be over $1 million. Okay? Do I look like a rich man? This is the same suit I wore in 2017 going into the White House. Okay? So anyway, I'm not going to answer any questions about what transpired today or about the case for obvious reasons. If you have a general question, I'll take it. But other than that, you're the Post guy, right?
Yeah, right.
So here's the problem here. It's like, where's the CNN? CNN here? The CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero.
Who's this? Come on.
Bro,
Yeah,
you're already facing charges.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead and commit
So,
another crime.
so,
I've been here this whole time. Situational.
yes, okay.
Why? Am I right?
Here's the thing. If you look at the partisan nature of what's going on, you can understand what's going on. This is free speech. This is fine. I got no problem with that. I got a problem with people shouting behind me. That's a problem. That's not right.
Trump
But
in prison.
when you look at the coverage, if you look at like CNN's coverage versus, say, the CBS story Monday, you can see that the CBS News was quite fair and balanced in terms of old-style journalism, in terms of providing a message about that. Whereas the CNN, you know, they did their usual kind of hit pieces. So I would ask you as journalists to get this right, okay? And I love the people of Washington, D.C. I'll be honest with you. It's a really nice city to be in. And I love the people here, and I would expect folks would be a lot more fair than maybe some other places. All right, anything else?
Yeah, the judge won't allow you to argue to the jury that the former president invoked executive privilege, so you can't make that argument in trial. What do you tell the jury? What's your defense?
Well, why don't you come next week, and all will be revealed.
On CBS.
Yeah. Anything else? All right, I appreciate.
Sorry, Mr. Navarro.
No, that's all right. No, I appreciate it.
People, I just wanted to
No,
say that
look, this is great. You know, it's like,
them, we appreciate what
put your
you're
flag
doing.
up there.
We
Put your
appreciate what
flag
you're
up there.
doing, sir.
This
We
is,
appreciate the justice you're getting for this country.
I think this is kind of the important kind of debate where, and look, see, she's trying to block the flag.
Yep.
Okay, this is the problem we have in America. Like Trump lost, and you know it. That's fine. She's expressing her point of view. She's got a megaphone to disrupt.
Yep.
But when it comes time for me to express my view to you, you've seen what she's done. She's interrupted me while I was speaking, and she won't even let an American show the American flag. Shame on you, ma'am.
Shame,
Good for you, ma'am. See?
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's
You love the Proud Boys, huh?
We'll see you.
Proud Boys, Sam.
She said she does. She's great for
China. Oh my.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So that's Peter Navarro, and he's not having a good week. He had a key part of his defense to a contempt of Congress charge thrown out by a federal judge on Wednesday, and then he lost a fight with a protest sign. And he exposed his cantankerous, fragile, pernicious infrastructure for all of us to see. He's charged with one contempt count for failing to appear for a deposition before the Congressional Committee investigating the insurrection, and faces a second charge for failing to produce documents the committee requested, and he pled not guilty. He argued that Trump had invoked executive privilege, barring him from cooperating with the committee in 2022. But U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta ruled on Wednesday that Navarro had provided no specific evidence that Trump exerted any kind of executive privilege specific to the committee's subpoena. So after court, Navarro came strutting out to the mic to complain about the old suit he was wearing and to beg for money for his legal fees. He makes it through about half the 13-minute press conference, and then he notices the woman standing there with a sign. And he said he didn't take issue with the sign, but it was the shouting. What shouting? I heard no shouting, and if he had no issue with the sign, why did he try so desperately to rip it out of that lady's hands? having to be reminded by her, she goes by the handle Anarchy Princess, bro, you're already in trouble. Chill out. And then he says, this is the problem we have in America, referencing the sign. He says, oh yeah, it says Trump lost and you know it. That's fine. She's expressing her point of view. She's got a megaphone to disrupt. But when it comes time for me to express my view to you, you've seen what she's done. Yeah, we saw. We all saw it. Her standing there silently. So silently, in fact, that he wasn't even aware she was behind him. He goes on, she interrupted me while I was speaking, and she won't even let an American show the American flag. Shame on you, ma'am. Shame on her, a quote-unquote American holding a flag while supporting the guy who tried to overthrow the Constitution, the people, and the country. Doesn't that make the flag meaningless? And again, for half the dang press conference, he didn't even know she was there. That's why she said, I've been standing here the whole time. Situational awareness. And by the next day, Navarro had created a completely make-believe press conference that none of the rest of us attended. He told Newsweek, watch the whole video and you'll see a disturbed woman creep up dangerously close behind me, shout at me, and desecrate the American flag waved by another individual. This was not a protest, but a threatening harassment by an individual with Trump derangement syndrome. Such shameful and dangerous behavior has no place in the public square. This from the guy who fully supported the violent insurrection that occurred on January 6th. And watching the video doesn't show any of those things. I see a disturbed, humorless, parasitic opportunist having a tantrum because the judge ruled against him and CNN didn't think he was important enough to even cover. He's taking his anger out on the lady who mostly stood silently behind him, getting in a few well-aimed burns, but mostly silent. He should direct his anger at Trump. Why isn't Trump paying his legal fees? Why is Trump reducing him to begging for money? He can't even buy a new suit. Investigators think Navarro played a pretty serious role in trying to delay the certification of the 2020 presidential election and change the outcome. Navarro had a fancy name for this plan. He called it the Green Bay Sweep, and it was the evil brainchild of John Eastman. The Green Bay Sweep was intended to implement a strategy laid out by the Eastman memos for the purpose of overturning election results so that Trump would be designated as president for a second term, bypassing the will of the people. So according to the plan, public pressure created by the delay would lead state legislatures in 6 key battleground states with Republican-dominated legislatures, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Nevada, to decertify election results with the intended outcome that Trump would have more certified electoral college votes than the election's actual winner, Joe Biden. Trump supported the strategy, but Pence rejected it as unconstitutional, and the plan was dependent on Pence's participation. But he stood firm, which led to utter MAGA outrage. They threatened Pence. They erected a noose for him. An FBI informant warned that the Proud Boys had plans to kill Pence if they found him that day. It was so fraught with danger for Mike Pence that he was afraid to get into the Secret Service car that Trump had ostensibly sent for him. He famously said, "I'm not getting in that car." And a senior Trump official, Keith Kellogg, told Tony Ornato, the head of Trump's Secret Service detail, when he informed them that they were relocating Pence and moving him to Joint Base Andrews. He said, "You can't do that, Tony. Leave him where he's at. He's got a job to do. I know you guys too well. You'll fly him to Alaska if you have a chance. Don't do it." So Pence wasn't the only one fearing that he'd be kidnapped or worse. After proceedings were interrupted by the January 6th Capitol attack, Pence cited the violence as a rationale for blocking further challenges. It was a coup directed by the president against the vice president, the Congress, and the people of the United States, and Peter Navarro was in the thick of it. He was all over the press talking about it, but he refused to discuss it with the January 6th committee, and that's why he's in court now, complaining about his suit and all the money he doesn't have. So who is Peter Navarro? Kind of in a nutshell, this guy, he's a class act. He is a class act. And it's no surprise that he fits right in with Donald Trump. During his unsuccessful run for mayor of San Diego, Navarro called his opponent's press secretary a pig and compared her to a dog. From city council to mayor to a congressional run, Navarro lost every election he ever vied for. And his personality problem got worse with each defeat, according to Navarro's former spokeswoman Lisa Ross, who worked with him on 4 of those campaigns. She said as the years went on and he kept losing campaign after campaign, he became more and more brittle, more and more confrontational, and he ended up alienating just about everyone. Peter was not a nice person at the end of the day. In Navarro's rip-roaring 1998 memoir, San Diego Confidential, he acknowledged his reputation as the cruelest and meanest son of a bitch that ever ran for office in San Diego, adding, "I don't have any concern at all about making stuff up about my opponent that isn't exactly true. I know that bastard running against me doesn't have any scruples either." Larry Remmer, a veteran Democratic political consultant who ran 2 of Navarro's campaigns, described his former client as the biggest asshole I've ever known. Navarro has been in trouble for not following campaign finance laws and for not paying his student loans. He was a political failure and he's crooked. He hitched his wagon to Trump because he fits right in. He signed on for the power grab that will live in infamy. Like he said, in his twisted mind, everyone is just like him, corrupt. He's very wrong. He uses the same gaslighting tactics as his buddy Trump. Don't believe what you see with your eyes, believe what I tell you. It's beyond my comprehension that people can choose to acquiesce to this kind of insanity. It's beyond me.